Oh no, my nuts spilled out. What am I gonna do?
Oh, my nuts whenever.
My nuts are all
All
over the
over the
place.
goddamn place.
Are we ready to play tonight?
No,
I was waiting for Chuck to bring it us.
I've been trying to give him a
I've been waiting
chance.
for Chuck to just say we've been live for the past 5 minutes.
We've been live for the past few minutes.
yeah.
oh no. With
It
me
was-
nutting all over the place.
Once the nut conversation started, I unmuted our feed. So chat's been listening to you all make nut jokes. And then when it started to escalate, I kicked the video over.
I have no regrets.
Me neither.
Just nuts.
I'll talk about my nuts all night.
Welcome, everyone. It's Friday. That means we're playing Anvea on Defenders of Kobold. We are joined here by many Tiger Kings and our wonderful cast of players. And yeah, we're going to get into it. We'll do a recap. We'll do some character introductions and then get back in it. So, last time you guys left the city of Brindlerook fairly peacefully. Jasper only murdered a few people on your way out with some brine shrimp that he had eat their insides. Kidnapped some animals on the way out as well. Added some bunnies. Did you add any other animals from the zoo? I think it was rabbits.
I was really only concerned about stealing rabbits.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember if there was anything else.
We needed them buns.
Yes. You then left, traveled to New Harsloth for a few days, which was the blighted city that Quinlan had told you about. It's kind of a refuge for other blighted people that not really accepted by anyone else yet. People don't know if it's contagious or not, and a lot of people don't believe that you're not fully crazy when you're blighted, so people just kind of shun them or kill them on sight, like
As you do.
either. Yeah. But as you made it out there, you found some tracks that matched your cart, and that was because a Eastlock Initiative prison cart, which happens to be the same type of cart your petting zoo is constructed with.
Of all the
Which,
ways we were going to
Most of us
get
did
caught.
not catch right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering how long that would take for you guys to remember that's where you got the cart from.
If I can do this.
Uh-huh.
Try and bust. I'm gonna try and bust it on my microphone.
Oh boy.
I think that's against the terms of service.
Probably. It
It might
should be.
If you do it just off camera, it should be fine.
Oh, yeah,
Go
yeah,
to
yeah.
onlyferns.com/Defenders of Kobold.
As long as your nipples and the nut busting is like just off camera. It's
Yeah, it's just underneath it.
What
It's
is
Convenient.
suggestive.
It's the new meta.
Does it count if it's man nipples?
It does.
Oh, wow.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
How dare you discern between?
Equality.
I mean,
Yes.
you can slowly undress if you want to see how long it takes him to like shut the stream
Listen,
down. But
we're
Free the nipple!
we're supposed to be working closer to freeing the nipple, not oppressing more nipples.
That's right.
not disagreeing.
I don't think it's working somehow.
It's only the one nipple that can be free. The rest of them, got to shut them down.
Got to shut them down.
The singular.
Yes.
If you're not selling bath water, you're not allowed to have your nipples on Twitch.
I think that checks out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works. What were we talking about?
No idea.
I don't even know anymore.
Prison cart.
Yeah.
You guys are traveling
petting
to
zoo.
New Harsloth. You have your petting zoo in tow. When you arrived in the city, you found a bunch of Eastlock Initiative people doing their definitely not slavery, total legal recruiting process of getting more people for the trench. You talked with them briefly, and they said that you were free to pass as long as you're dealing with the strange jack-in-the-box creature, which you all said that you were familiar with, Percy, who's been chained up in the old mine. New Harsloth is kind of like an old mining town that has been abandoned, and then it's got a little bit of a resurgence with all these half-blighted people living there now. But it's kind of built like this little half horseshoe kind of thing, or into the mountain.
Yeah,
We've got a little thing there on the stream now.
we do.
I think I have token vision, so you should be able to
Do we?
see.
We do.
Nice. Yeah, you traveled on through town, and you went over up here, like in the northeast part of the map, leads into the mine. Once you made it into the mine, you spoke with Percy, who was chained upside down, unable to make it out of his box. Spoke with him for a little bit. He mentioned that he was captured by the half-blighted people, and said that there were some other people that occasionally would come from within the mines by him, but he had never seen them. He only heard them as they passed him.
Those jerks.
And that's kind of where we left off. You guys had just talked to Percy, and we're in the mine. We'll do some character introductions now. So, Chuck, who are you playing?
I am Rudigar, halfling, sneaky person, and moral compass of the group. And what else? I don't know. I'm just great.
Got the most disgusting leg.
The what? Oh, my leg is that. Yeah, it's sketch as fuck.
Got a new brine shrimp leg
Yeah,
because you
As you
asked
do.
Percy to heal it for you.
It has an extremely high chance of being tasty.
that's.
And he used what was
And not
available to him.
cannibalism if we eat it.
Technically, no.
Mm.
It's more of a philosophical question at this point.
I do
It
regret
would be cannibalism now.
slightly what happened, but it's too late now. I got a fancy shrimp leg.
Yep. Sure, it smells great in
Yeah.
the hot summer.
And nothing bad will happen if we ever betray Jasper to that leg.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about
No.
that. God damn it.
No, we'd never do that.
Fuck.
Nothing at all. All right. And I would say moral compass only because compasses just kind of latch on to whatever the strongest magnetism is.
That's fair.
Not it.
It's
Not it.
Really,
That's an accurate
kind of
description.
overwrite it.
I like that way of thinking. It's not that I'm a good
Yeah.
compass. I'm just a strong compass.
It's the strongest magnetic thing for it to latch onto.
I like that.
John, who are you playing?
I'm playing Lonan Darkheart. Lonan Darkheart. I don't know how to pronounce my own name anymore. Resident Arachnomancer. I have an idea for a new spell that's terrible. And I do spider things. And
As
last
you
time I
should.
found out how fast the fastest spider can move technically, which is around 1,500 miles per hour.
Briefly.
Briefly, very briefly. But
Yes.
boy, what a ride.
Yeah.
All right. April, who are you playing?
I am playing Jairus Winterman. She is a cute little gnome with like an 80s style haircut, big and poofy. Supposed to be sneaky, I think. I don't quite recall.
Optional.
Optional. Sneaky, optional.
Yeah. You got some sneak in there, yeah. Got some ranks and conceal. Sneaky when you want to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Deceptive.
Dan, who are you playing?
Car. And basically, I think my main thing I do is I teleport sometimes and surprise people. Otherwise, I think I'm kind of useless.
How dare you?
You can hit pretty
So-
good.
Yeah, man, that relies on me rolling well.
You can hurt
Sometimes you
yourself
roll
real
really
well.
when you're healing
I
things too.
yes, I
I'm right
can
there
hurt
with you.
myself real well, and I can not heal real well.
Unless healing them hurts them, in which case you just explode them.
You're a great reverse
Yes.
healer.
100%. Rare circumstance.
You just have to think
Yes.
that you're gonna heal people with your sword and just
That's it.
really
That's
mean it.
That's what I'm
Stan.
doing wrong.
Cat, thanks for those dog bits.
Oh my doggo bits.
Whose dog
And
is on the
then,
thing?
last but not least, Jake, who are you playing?
I'm playing
Was it
Ahab
April's
Levine
dog?
Sherman,
Yeah.
Okay.
aka Al Sherman, who is a monster hunter now, co-owner of a fabulous petting zoo.
Yeah. strange where life takes you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works fine.
All right. With that, we pick back up. You are inside the mine. It was getting kind of late in the day. Not sure if you guys had exactly decided on what you wanted to do. You were kind of interested in figuring out who these people were coming from deeper within the mine.
That was very
We
interesting.
were splitting the
Yeah.
party.
Yeah,
Responsibly.
and
Yeah.
you had released Jasper, but Jasper seems to not be very happy with the people that put him into
shit.
captivity.
Which would be the
Captain,
people
thank
in the
you.
town.
Yes, which are all the blighted people in town that did not seem to trust him or his antics and
But
change
They're
him
the
up.
people that the scary lady wanted us to kind of help keep safe.
Scarinate.
Yes,
Yes.
but you haven't seen her.
I-
You were told that she was, or she told you guys that she was heading here. You didn't run into her along the way, and you don't see her in town here.
She lied to us, is what I'm hearing.
No,
They
we're
haven't really
just
talked to
faster.
anyone either. Yeah.
Definitely.
And the only people
Yeah.
you've talked to are a few of the Eastlock people who seem to be happy to ignore you guys as they were doing their recruiting process.
I believe we're going to scout the town a bit, and we were also thinking about possibly poisoning the food of the Eastlock people.
Yeah. That sounds very familiar.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
Responsible poisoning.
That's the best kind.
So I'd say scouting the town, a few things you would know. The one captain guy that kind of talked to you, I don't think you ever got his name, but when he wrote up and talked to you and said that you could go as long as you were just dealing with the jack-in-the-box creature, he's over here in this building. This is like the sheriff office, and this is like a little house next to it, so he's usually over here. There's a big saloon kind of bar place here, and a lot of the Eastlock people seem to be pent up in there a lot, and all the shenanigans with the recruiting of the blighted people are kind of out here in the center of town near the well. And currently you're all up here inside the mine.
Yeah. Well, what are we doing, guys?
Well, if you'd like to
Giggling at
scout
Cat's
out
mom.
for the East Lock people, I can stay with Percy to make sure nobody gets their music boxes torn out.
I figured I'd shapeshift into a spider and go, sneak around. I can
Skittering.
listen to things.
Sure. Yeah. And again, it's getting pretty late. Like there's still some sunlight, but getting kind of like dusk orange light.
Yeah.
You poke out. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for as you're scouting around there, John?
I'm just kind of looking to eavesdrop on like conversations, just
Sure.
in various places. I'll stick to like up high on where I can, just so that I don't get stepped on.
Yeah.
You'd see, like, as you're kind of snooping around town, out here in kind of like the main square with the well, you're not really hearing much conversation about anything particularly important or whatever, just kind of small talk between some of the Eastlock people as they're all standing. They've got their rifles out and they're just kind of directing these blighted people around. They seem to be inspecting some of them, telling some of them to get up in their cart. A lot of people seem to be pretty upset. Every so often, someone will kind of speak up and get a butt of a rifle in their back.
Are any of them got the bracelet shackle things?
You don't see any of the like fancy anti-magic ones on any of the blighted people, but people are shackled as soon as they're brought into the prison cart, and they're being held there. So they're shackled to like the inside of the cart. And then by this saloon, as you pass by it, it's called the Scuttle Saloon, and you would hear lots of kind of just boisterous laughing and things. and you get about a count of there's maybe 4 or 5 of the Eastlock people inside the saloon, and about 6 or 7 Eastlock people outside, with one in addition in the sheriff's office. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna, kind of climb up to the ceiling and, or, just kind of go in and just listen in on the conversation. When did it look so it doesn't look like they were necessarily voluntarily going into the prison wagon? They were just being like rounded
absolutely
up.
not.
Okay.
Yeah, they seem
Like
they're not putting
prisoners.
up a lot of fight, but they aren't happy. They have more of the feel of like they've already tried fighting and they're beaten down,
Okay.
and they've just kind of resigned. But they're definitely not like, no one's volunteering, no one's happy as they're hopping up. A lot of upset, some emotions, all that.
Yeah.
People are pretty upset. All the Eastlock people are just kind of joking, or they seem to be up in spirits somewhat, and not being the nicest to these blighted people.
Okay.
And there are some other blighted people like around the town, but every so often they seem to be trying to stay like as out of the way as possible, trying to be unseen, not stir up any attention.
Am I seeing a lot of like folks that are not blighted that aren't Eastlock in the area,
No.
or is it pretty much all blighted people in here?
Everyone that is not Eastlock seems to be partially blighted in some way.
Okay.
There's some definitely varying degrees. Some people are like, they look like they've completely been burned and they have barely any like non-scar tissue, really. Other people, it's just like small portions of their face or whatever. They look mostly normal, but then you'll see they turn and like one of their arms is kind of messed up or something.
Okay.
So definitely degrees of how blighted they are, but they all seem to be blighted in some way.
Probably after I hang out in the saloon for like an hour or so, I'll probably we had kind of figured out where they were probably where like where most of the Eastlock people were staying, and they had like a dormitory or something, I think.
Yeah, they seem to be mostly, there's a few rooms like in the saloon, and there's also some in this house here nearby.
Okay. Yeah, I'd go check out the house, see what I
Okay.
could find.
You see, it's looks to be a house that used to be lived in by one of the blighted people, but it's just kind of been gutted and thrown to shambles. And there's some cots that have been set up recently, and you see lots of just some like rucksacks of the Eastlock people. You see some boots and things that they have, some extra rifle rounds, lots of equipment and things that they're not carrying on them. But seems to be just a little spot that they've huddled down in and taken over.
Okay. All right.
If you want to roll a discern test for me, we'll see if you catch anything particularly interesting from their conversation. While
The
you're
first roll of the game.
Discern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we need to ask if this is what's common or urban?
Technically, no, since I'm not there for it.
Okay.
This would be desolate or society.
I've got society. I do. So
Yeah. A lot of the tests out here are going to be desolate of some kind, and once you're inside the mine, those are all war.
I'm not going to push that roll.
Okay. Yeah, 2 is good. That's a lot of hexes.
That's a lot of hexes.
But 2 successes is definitely good. I will say, so you pick up probably the most notable thing by far that you pick up is that there was someone here they seem to be talking about. It takes a while for you to kind of piece together who it is or who you think it is. They mentioned someone that they captured recently that didn't seem to put up a fight, and they are laughing about that. And as they're describing them, it sounds like they're describing Quinlan. And they say something like, "Oh, she didn't put up much of a fight. She just kind of let us take her back to the trench." But you hear a lot of people joking. One guy chimes in, he's like, "Oh, we don't really expect much fight from these frail blighter people." But sounds like Quinlan was here and just kind of resigned herself voluntarily to go back to the trench with them. Not necessarily this crew, but like the previous crew that they had swapped like shifts with.
Okay. We didn't. I don't happen to see any maps or anything, do I? Of like the local area, like where maybe this trench is or anything.
Not in the saloon, but you might find one. I'd say, yeah, you definitely find one if you're looking through stuff inside the like that side building. They just have one out of like where the trench is at. And, they even have like there's some propaganda type posters and things that are up in there, but you see like a map where looks very similar, like back on this Mirandel map. Trench lines up like right with where the edge of that map is, where there's that like line cut.
Okay.
On the main map.
Okay.
You do see.
All right. I guess once I've kind of got that information, I'll head back to the cave to kind of let folks know what I found.
Okay. John pops back in. You see a small spider.
Yep.
Then a small gnome.
So I think our person is here. It sounds like she let herself be captured. She's out at the trench. It's over here.
Trench is a ways away too.
Yeah.
Like probably another not quite a week of travel if you were to go like by foot.
Yeah, they're rounding people up, throwing the shackles on them, sending them out that way. Yeah, it's not great.
Okay, what are we gonna do about it?
Good question.
Something.
Did we get it? Did Percy get any special visitors?
No.
Aside from us, no.
All right.
We
No,
could potentially let
in
ourselves
a
be
few
captured.
hours. Yeah. It looks like so you would know that they're particularly interested in these blighted people because the trench is like right along like the apocalypse blighted deep basin zone and where it's more normal. Like from the events that you guys have learned about. The reason why the deep basin's all messed up is because it's the fused body of this Azoi god that was summoned, and it was fused into the earth and then died and rotted. And like right on the line of his corpse, they're digging this trench to try and like physically cut that off from the rest of the continent. And you would know that they really like these blighted people because they seem to be kind of immune to a lot of the crazy blight effects and things because they've already been infected by it.
You might say that they're down with the sickness.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're also targeted way less by any of the blighted creatures in the area. So they're like the perfect workers to them.
Like
They really like
camouflaged.
just, yeah.
Could we potentially redecorate our traveling petting zoo as a prison cart and try to blend in?
Put some strong
Undecorated,
quotes up.
basically.
I mean, we've already got the base for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John did find kind of the location of where there. It seems like there are several kind of main bases along the trench that people are using, and you know the one that Quinlan was brought to, which is on the main map, kind of straight east of where you guys are at.
Well, we could try to figure out a way to sneak Percy out of here and go there. I don't think he wants to stick around here.
He does not.
Or do we? Okay.
Yeah.
We thought that this tunnel might lead all the way up to like where we were originally heading. How long would it take if that were the case? Like, what would be the travel time of that?
You would think, depending on how much of a maze, like if it was
Right.
straight there,
Obviously.
maybe about 3 days.
Okay.
But there were like mine cart tracks and shit in here, right?
There are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that could help.
yeah, because the question becomes, you know, if we want to get Percy out of here, what would be the best way?
I mean, we got to sneak him through the caves.
Yeah.
We got to try and sneak him out during the night. Or we have to destroy the town in one swift action.
Yeah,
Which would
either
not.
we sneak them out or we kill everyone who cares.
Which some people we know would
Two
not be
options.
thrilled about that particular course of action.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is there's people
Yeah.
here that we don't want to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's a lot of people.
What
There are a
Little
fair number of
unmanageable.
blighted people, and
Yeah.
Percy seems to be not a fan of the blighted people. You don't know what Percy's stance is on the Eastlock people.
Yeah,
Um,
because it was the blighted
Jasper
people that chained
is
him
not
up,
too
right?
fond of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blighted
Yeah.
people chained him up. Percy showed up and has been here for a while. And this was like before this. From like what you overheard, there was a group of Eastlock people that came here. Those are the ones that captured Quinlan. They left, and then this is like a second group that came up. And Percy was there before either of those. So he's been chained up for a while, and it was just the blighted people that didn't like him and were kind of creeped out by him and
Fair
fought
enough.
him, beat him into his box, chained him into this cave, and are just kind of leaving him here until they figured out what to do.
But they didn't kill him.
They did not kill him. Because he said some stuff about Jasper. When you talked to Quinlan, she said that she had gotten a message saying that someone, or talking about Percy, how they found this weird creature that seemed to know stuff about Jasper. So they were waiting for Quinlan to come and talk to Percy. That's why they captured him. Getting pretty late at this point. You'd probably notice this as you're getting back in, John,
Mhm.
after you're doing all of your sleuthing around town. Eastlock people haven't left, but they've thrown some like blankets and things inside their prison cart. They go and park it in between the saloon and their little room that they've taken over. And a lot of the Eastlock people are in the saloon for the night. And they're drinking pretty late. And you would see that it seems to be a full moon tonight. So pretty bright. You're able to see a lot.
Idea.
For everyone's enjoyment.
Kit
Okay.
Kat!
Dan's the
The
Tiger
real Tiger
King.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just burn down the saloon while all the Eastlock people are in there.
I mean, can't say we haven't done it before.
Just an idea.
Not in this specific campaign, but
You would
We
know
need some
that
potato sacks
the
and gasoline.
bartender and a few people that were like serving in
Yeah.
the saloon were the blighted people.
oh no.
And Eastlock were like directing them around.
Well, could
I've
give
got
them a
problem,
decent tip.
guys.
You have a problem? Is your cat
got
trying to steal your nuts?
I got spicy nuts all over my keyboard.
Oh no, you nutted on your keyboard.
Oh,
I
God.
did. Consequences will never be the same. Also, cat.
Kit Kat!
It's definitely
It
cat.
is a cat.
Well, I mean,
It's a Coco, and she does not want to be picked up. I just tried to pick her up, and the claws were in the pants.
While
There
you
we
guys are all
go.
kind of talking inside of the cave, after a while,
There we
Percy
go.
speaks up. He's like, "How long do I have to wait here?"
Yes. Yes.
Until we find a way to get you out without everyone killing you or you killing everyone.
Mm.
yeah,
Hmm.
we'd like to get out of here without
Okay.
possible.
How long is that?
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're still creating the plan. Something about a saloon. Eastlock people. Surely
Oh.
there's a way to
Are we tying
destroy
it
them
back to
there.
poison?
Quite possibly. I mean, they've all got to drink sometime.
Mm-hmm. That could work.
All right, Joe.
would probably
Where
be very
on the
good.
map is this saloon?
So the saloon is this like bigger building here that's kind of next to the cave entrance.
Okay.
And
That
the
checks out
building,
that it's the biggest building.
yeah.
And what's this?
And then this like little house looks like it used to be the house of one of the residents here, and they've been evicted, and it's just kind of been ransacked and turned into just a little, like a whole bunch of cots and things have been set up there for the East Lock.
The copper got stripped out from the air conditioner and the electrical, and
Yep. Been
we
good.
live there now.
So this was
Yeah,
a mining
and in
thing,
between
right?
the what?
They did mining here, right?
Yeah, this is like an old mining town.
Not an active mining town. That's not what the people are doing. They're
No.
just digging.
Yeah, the people are just here because it's an abandoned town that's a lot of the way out of the way, and they've, some of the buildings haven't really been repaired or brought back up, but they've been living here for a little bit. They've repaired some of the stuff, and they're mainly just out here because no one has a reason to come out to an old abandoned mine.
And none of the people we need to save go to the saloon.
Some of the people that you need to save are working in the saloon, and you would imagine they probably use the saloon, but not while the East Lock people are here.
So we have an omelet situation.
Yes,
Could be viewed.
they're the eggs, and that we can't have the saloon burned down without them.
I mean, we could talk to them if they don't like these folks being here. They might help us.
That's an option. I'll tell you what.
True. You have not talked to any of the blighted people.
Why don't we split up into two teams here?
Oh no, the burn down the omelet team and the cook the omelet team.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Also, thank you for all those bits, everyone. That's fantastic.
I have to go with the vacuum in a second because my nuts on my keyboard are problematic.
Yeah,
It's
to
crunchy.
vacuum your nuts.
They're getting in the way.
Don't interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room.
So here's what I'm thinking, guys. This place, it's right next to the mouth of the cave that we're in. If this used to be a mining area, what we do is we just go find some fucking explosives, sneak it into like the crawl space, and when the evil people are having a party, we just blow them all up.
That works.
Just like in real life.
Yeah.
You have not seen any explosives, but the
Timothy.
room that you're in looks like it used to have stored it.
Hmm.
As you're looking around for it, Percy asks, like, what are you looking for?
Stuff that goes, but really loud.
And then he's like, maybe those other people took it.
The ones who went further in?
Yeah.
I bet
I
they
hear them
did.
click around and take stuff every so often.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So shall we maybe take a trip further into the tunnels to see if we can't find some kaboom stuff?
I'm on it, and I start going deeper into the tunnels.
It's the only way.
It's the only way. We're going to keep coming up with better and better plans until one of us says we're going to do this one. That's what I'm doing now.
Al,
Yeah.
why don't you go with Rudigar and I can stay here and keep an eye on Percy.
Okay.
Cooped up in here, you know.
All right. Chuck, you start heading
This
down
is
the tunnels.
me. Yes.
You have a light source out. It's like pitch black. So
Yes.
you are following. There's pretty much only one way to go. It's very straight now here. Like it kind of wove around a bit as you were coming into this main room. But it looks like from this room, that's kind of where they had surveyed more and decided where to like dig further straight into the mountain.
Okay.
Somehow I
this
think we're
tunnel
okay.
that you're going down It's pretty straight.
Okay.
You have your light source,
Yes, I have my flashlight.
your flashlight. Okay.
I got like a torch.
I can
Maybe a
try to
lantern.
imbue some earth with some luminescent holy magic.
Oh, that would be
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
I thought
Absolutely.
for sure it'd just be a dwarven helmet, which is just a brick with a string tied around it that straps it to your head, and you put a candle on it,
Nice.
and that's the
Hmm.
dwarven mining helmet.
I will push the roll for fun, and I will lose my ability to command earth for a while.
Anyway, so I got
Yeah.
out my torch.
Sparks. You see a flash of light for a bit, Jake, but it does not stay illuminated as your hand is burnt for that.
All right, I'm
as
still
well.
new at this. I'll try again later.
I don't remember you casting spells before.
Oh, you see, I had this made, and I'll hold up my holy symbol. This gives me the power to channel the might of the goddess of civilization.
So just like anyone can buy a holy symbol and start like making magic?
Well, you have to have it infused with the power of the deity by extracting it from other deified items. I used some bobbleheads and a tabard. That seemed to work just fine.
Okay, that's neat.
You purchased them, and it was the god of commerce. So
Yes,
That makes sense.
that all works.
and I did so for a righteous cause, making cool stuff.
All right, well that's cool.
All right.
So let's help the god of commerce by liberating this place of all the free labor that's taking place here.
Is it strictly commerce or is it like commerce
It's
plus
prosperity and commerce.
capitalism? Oh, prosperity and commerce. So is it trickle down
Yeah.
commerce?
I would have to assume.
Okay.
I mean, you can't have a prosperous nation
Depends on
without
who reads the
prosperous
book,
people.
you know.
yeah.
Does your god look like Ronald Reagan? That's the real question.
Or does
No,
it look
just-
like Ronald McDonald?
Oh God.
Depends on who
We do-
commissioned the art.
Does he have hair?
Keep
Is it a
Buddy O'Burger
toupee?
away from our puns, please?
I have a side tangent. The Hamburglers back in McDonald's commercials.
Is it?
Yeah. He's walking around like, "What's your opinion of this burger?" He's like, "Rebel, rebel." 'Cause that's what the Hamburglar says. But I'm like, I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, why is he just now back in commercials? And then I was thinking about it. It's because he's off parole finally, like probably
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah,
his
he served his
release.
This is his work release.
Yeah. He's finally able to work in the industry
finally-
again.
He's finally been set free.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh no.
Been a while.
Yeah. It's been a
Free to
while
burglar
since he
again.
rebel.
Should have been co-opted by Subway because they know all about criminals.
Oh.
Just
You're
imagine
not wrong.
how many people
Different
he
kind of
could
crime.
fit in those old pants of his.
But
I just wanted to let
that-
the
You continue down the
discomfort
cave.
settle for a minute. Yeah.
They don't
have
call
your-
it Subway for nothing.
Torch or lantern out.
I got a torch.
I got a burned hand.
I making
Yep.
sure that my torch is burning hot and sparkly as I can.
Burning finger.
Lots of embers.
And who all is it? Just Chuck and Jake that are heading down deeper into the mine.
Who wants to
I mean,
help us?
probably because I
spelunk?
can just.
I would like to
I mean-
accompany.
I'll go, but I gotta hang back so I can surprise people with teleportation.
So Acker and Lonan are hanging back. Jarrus, Rudigar, and Al
But it's only so I can surprise.
are going spelunking.
All right. I'd say
Remember, if we do find the booming stuff, we might not want that torch lit.
I don't. I agree with that statement,
Optional.
but also we kind of need to be able to see.
Right.
Coal's
right.
not that flammable.
Do
Okay.
I
Well,
see
the person with the torch will be up front. The person with the boom stuff will be in the back.
Okay. Do I see, quickly looking around this mining shaft, an old lantern hanging off a hook?
I'd say every so often you do find one. And I'd say the first one that you find, it's kind of burnt out, very old, part of it's rusted.
Yeah.
You see around it though, like as you're stopping, kind of looking, there seems to be lots of patches of moss that you swear is like maybe glowing just a little bit, but it's kind of hard to tell with your torch.
I extinguish my torch rapidly and see if I can now see glowing moss.
At first, it's not glowing, but as your eyes kind of adjust darkness, you do see that there's these patches of moss that are glowing in the dark.
All right.
And then as your
We
eyes
go get
adjust
some
further-
water.
Okay.
I take a lantern and I just start harvesting glowing moss and shoving it into the lantern casing.
Okay.
Look,
I'd
we're
say
to
with
rave.
that,
Boop-a-boop-a-boop. Boop, boop-a-boop-a-boop.
as you
Seems
shove the
great.
moss and you get enough of it like kind of condensed and collected, it's shoved into the glass of this lantern, which also has a little bit of like mirrors and things in it. It actually directs like a decent amount of light. It's definitely not as bright as your torch was, but it's good like dim light source. And you're able to see well enough around you as you're traveling through.
Are there any sounds of mining occurring? Pickaxes and the like? Or just people shuffling around?
As you guys are walking, you don't hear anything like that. But if you take a moment to pause, while Chuck's kind of collecting all of the glowing lichen and sit there for a bit, give me a discern test.
Alrighty.
You ever think why you don't pronounce the C in discern?
It's probably part of a language that doesn't do that.
I will not push that. I did not discern anything.
Discern.
Okay.
This is America, damn it. Discern.
I'll
It is
say
Discord. Be discern.
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you hear something, but you're not sure if it's you guys making the sound or not. Like it's kind of hard to tell. It's a tunnel. You think that you might hear clinking. Sounds like a little bit of like clinking of glass, but then you see that Chuck's kind of messing with the lantern, so maybe that's it. You're not sure.
Do I smell anything rubbery?
Anything rubbery.
Yes, that is how I detect magic.
Oh, okay.
Rubber pie,
Sure.
specifically.
I'll say if you stand like in the group of you guys, you definitely smell some magic pinging off of Jake and his holy symbol. I don't know if Chuck has anything. Oh, Chuck's leg smells really bad. Like
Oh,
burnt
I'm
rubber.
sure.
Nice.
I'm positive of that.
Chuck's leg smells horrible to you, especially. I don't think there's anything particularly magic though that Chuck's carrying. The lichen doesn't seem to be pinging off as like magic. But if you walked forward a little bit in the group, because I assume you're trying to smell like in front of you guys. So
Yeah.
if you walk past where the odors of the party are at, you catch like just a faint wisp of something lingering. You're not sure if it's like further down or if it's just been through here recently, but it's definitely a distinct, different smell than what Chuck or Jake has.
Okay. I think I might
Fruit.
just mention that back to them, like, hey, there's something a little stinky up ahead. I don't know if that means that something was cast here before and it's just the lingering,
Okay.
but we might stay on our toes.
Sounds good.
Good tip.
Okay. You guys travel on down. And there's a bit of a slight decline. Very, very subtle. You kind of notice it as you're walking. And probably after another 15, 20 minutes go by. What order would you say that everyone's walking in?
I'm fine taking the lead. I've got the lantern.
Yep.
I'm also good at sneaky, dodgy things. So unless one of you two really want it, I'm fine taking that heat. You're muted,
I'll
though,
take the
Dan.
heat so that you can sneak behind me, so that they'll see
Okay.
me, but not you.
That's a good
So
idea.
I'm good at second or third.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Al, you take the lantern. I'll be behind Al with my bow at the ready. And then a car, you follow up. And if we get ambushed, you teleport behind them. And then
That's
it's a
right.
pincer attack.
100%. It's not because I'm sneaky.
Mhm.
Because I can teleport.
That's very cool.
I
I
will
just
take up
cheat.
the rear.
Okay. So I hear Jake is up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you take the lantern then from Chuck?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Jake, you would be the first to hear this then. After like the few minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so that you were traveling, you hear glass clinking. And at first it sounds like identical almost to the glass that's in this lantern that you're holding, kind of clinking around a little bit in the metal frame of this lantern. But then you notice that there's like several sources of glass that seem to be clinking.
Mm.
And you're seeing little bits of glinting light much farther ahead of you down this path. Like little twinkles. They're not like light sources, perhaps. Seems like if they were like a torchlight, that seems like way too far away that you would be able to see it like that. You don't see like other light cast around. It's just these little specks of light. Seem to be about like chest level.
Well, I'll slow down and I'll kind of, speak back to the rest of the party about the glittering lights in the darkness.
Mm. We should have really brought Lonan. He can see in the dark.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
Yep.
Yep. I'll
Details.
move on ahead.
As you guys slow down too and talk and say this, and you're not moving anymore, and you look back out and you're kind of pointing out these glinting lights, you do see the glinting lights are like swaying a little bit and seem to be getting closer. Very slowly.
Huh.
They were coming our direction?
Yes.
I will call out to them. Hello there.
The only answer is to hide and fart on them when they get close.
With that hello there, I am going to try and find some place to hide. Like along
Okay.
the
Like I
walls
said.
in like a crevice or I don't know.
Yeah. Every so often the walls are like rough enough that there's little bits here and there, and you're small enough definitely that you're able to find one
Okay.
to kind of duck behind.
I agree
I'll
with
still have
hiding.
you do a conceal test
Yeah.
for me just to know how well you hide, but there definitely are places to hide.
Would you call this urban or common?
It is Warren. Probably
Sorry.
just Warren.
Just Warren? Okay.
Yeah.
I wanna let it ride with 3 successes.
Okay, that's fantastic. I guess I would take technology as well.
I don't have those. I now have nature,
guys are-
society, and occult. And I only know occult because I'm hanging out with all you magic fools.
Yeah. Dan, is that your conceal as well?
Dan.
You are muted.
I am. I intended to push it, but I misclicked.
That's fine. I'm going to
So
say
if it's
Chuck,
acceptable,
you got
I'll
so
just
many
roll it
successes,
again.
You're able to help.
Okay, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'll say Chuck, you're able to lend one of those successes
Sure.
to Dan.
Gladly.
With how many you got?
It looks like
You see that
Jared's you
he's kind of
passed
like
too.
struggling.
I mean, hiding isn't
And, yeah.
really my thing.
That one is enough there.
Uh, uh, uh.
Um,
Hold on. I need to roll
cat is
2d6.
attacking me.
You did it.
4 and a
Of
4.
course.
Oh, are
Oh
those
yeah,
your...
your cheap fate.
They're my cheap fate dice. I forgot to do them.
How dare
That's
you?
fine. But yeah, with that, you guys are all pretty well hidden. And then Jake, you're just standing up ahead. You call out. You don't get a response, but you see the glinting lights start to kind of widen. You see that there's like maybe 5 of them. They're all swaying. They pause for a bit. They stop swaying. And then they begin to come towards you again. You hear glass clinking as they're approaching.
Is there a possibility I can make a lore check to know if there's any kind of monster made of swinging lights and clinking noises?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. This... Oh, I will push that.
Oof.
1 success.
1 success. Okay. So I'll say nothing jumps out to you as like a monster that's clinking like that. You get the sense though that this clinking is not like a creature or something, and you do know it's probably like either like a crystal or rock. You're getting like that kind of sense from what the light is glinting off of that you're approaching from. You're not sure what it was. You would know like in this area there's lots of various rocks and things that could be, but that's kind of your assumption. It's like some natural thing, possibly natural thing that's like glinting at you.
Well, I'll call out to it again. Hello.
As you wait for a bit, they start to get closer, and you don't really, you see as this gets approaching out of the light, as the glint gets just to the edge of your glowing lantern of lichen, you see 5 figures immediately light up in a very similar fashion of this glowing lichen. As you see 5 fleshy made out of this lichen, holding these small glass jars that have these weird crystals inside of them. There's like a few of them in each of these jars that are just barely giving off a little bit of light. They are paused there. They kind of look at you. They look at each other, and one calls out, "Hello, are you friendly?"
I try to be. I'm not here to enslave the mining town or anything like that, unlike certain other individuals who've stopped by recently.
You don't smell of those that are blighted.
Well, thank you. I mean, well, that, or screw you, depending on whether that's bad or good.
We do not like the blight.
Oh, understandable. But no, not blighted.
Nearby, however,
Yes,
some blight magic that we smell in this cave.
Yes, there is a. Wait, in this cave, you mean?
Yes, very
Oh.
nearby.
I see. Oh, yes, there's a haunted Jack in the Box that we have tried to secure recently. Serpent of
smells
Jasper,
different.
that's. Oh, well, okay.
We know of the strange box child you speak.
Okay. All right. So would that be coming from the way I came or from the way you came? Your
Yes,
smell.
the way you came from. There's a new smell to this tunnel.
Well, that might be the Eastlock people, although they're not blighted.
But all of their servants are.
Mm-hmm.
Complicated.
Maybe
Yeah,
they're
so-
blighting people on purpose to force them into labor.
Well, since I mean you no harm, would you happen to have any mining explosives nearby that we could borrow?
He pauses at that, kind of turns, and their leaves like rustle, or their like lichen kind of rustles at each other. They seem to be communicating. And turns back to you, says, "We collected some a while back. We have no use for it, but the blighted ones have used it on us before.
Oh, that's
Why do you
not
need it?"
good. Well, we were hoping to uh, use them on some evil people. We didn't know that you had problems with the blighted ones. That's troublesome. Maybe there's maybe
They
we can help
interrupt our
to
practices,
your
our
practices.
pilgrimage.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's something that a diplomatic solution that can be reached.
By the spicy boys.
Yes. So,
Perhaps we make
so in
this
exchange for
pilgrimage every
the
full moon.
explosives, we'll try to get you a safe pilgrimage.
Once every full moon, we make a pilgrimage for these rocks. Our moon lotus mother. It's too large to leave the tunnels on our own now, so we collect the moon's light in these stones and bring it back to her.
Neat. Right. So, you help us, we'll try and help you.
I would appreciate if you stop the blighted ones from stopping our pilgrimage.
Absolutely. You say this happens on the full moon.
Yes, which is why we are traveling tonight.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Because, they can still do work outside of the full moon, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just update their calendars then. I think that's manageable.
They've had past problems with our moon lotus mother.
Well, why is that? She's not destructive or anything, is she?
She does not like the blight or those who have been touched by it.
Well, that makes sense. But I think in this case, we wouldn't want things to come to like a war or anything like that. So I'm not asking for peace, merely a tolerance one for the other. And of course, if the tolerance is broken, then I suppose you could just annihilate them with all the explosives that you have.
We prefer it to be peaceful, but it
Right,
may come.
of course.
Is anyone else jumping out at this? Jake seems to be talking to these 5 lichen creatures.
If they don't seem hostile, I would.
They don't seem to be, no.
I would not, just because I don't want to startle them or anything by all of a sudden popping out. So I'm just going to wait until the conversation's done. Listen in.
Okay.
I think I would pop out at this point and be like, there's more of us here. We didn't know if you were going to be hostile or not, so we wanted to be safe of our own accord.
They look at you. They don't seem too startled when you jump out, but they just kind of nod at that. And with that, several others light up behind them. Like, there are more of us as well.
Well, you don't want to make a pilgrimage alone. Haha. So, yeah, I think a calendar update would be sufficient for everyone's purposes. You get your pilgrimage in service of the Moon Mother, I believe you called her.
The Moon Lotus.
Yes. Moon Lotus, and they get to dig a hole every once in a while.
Are they needing an escort to the surface?
Yes. Do you need an escort to the surface?
Perhaps. Rare. We rarely are attacked at night, but we try to go at intermittent intervals. They do not know we are here to collect moonlight.
Okay. Well, I don't mean to brag too much, but I am wearing armor. I'm something of a tough guy. I could protect you while you gather your moonlight, and then when you're done, you can shuffle away at your leisure.
This would be appreciated.
All right. Neat.
They
Excellent.
kind of bow their head at you.
Well, right this way. I'll turn around and start heading back.
Okay. As Jake turns around, do you guys remain hidden as they like walk past you?
I am going to, since we're all going back as a group, I'm going to wait till they're all past and then move out of hiding and just try and nonchalantly reincorporate myself with the group.
Okay. As soon as you make your way back into the group more, they don't seem startled by your presence, but the leader that was talking with Jake speaks up and he's like, I smell this blighted magic again. Very strong.
Yeah.
Not it.
No, it's my leg. I'm sorry. It's a new injury.
Yes, we're working on getting it cured. It just happens to have been a very recent thing.
Why does it reek of blight? It seems to be shrimp.
Yeah. Because
it's that way because the way that it is.
yeah, a giant blight shrimp deity replaced my leg with blight shrimp.
You can tell that it's the way it is by looking at it and seeing.
Yeah, if you want to
It
look at it,
is
that's fine. I'll
the
pull up
way
my
it
pant
is.
leg.
I wouldn't look at it too long. It's
kinda
kind
like-
of gross.
Seem repulsed by it a little bit.
Weren't you hiding Jasper in your leg?
No, Jasper
didn't
was in the cart.
This
Okay.
rides from no one.
Because I thought he had
We
hidden it.
decided
I
against the
offered
foot
it.
removal.
Okay.
I offered it, but yeah, he didn't take me up on that.
No, he was back at the cart in the brine trough last time.
Okay. I wasn't sure where we had left Jasper.
Yeah.
Yep. In the half molted or half hardened Brian Crabston.
Mhm.
He's having a hard time speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys follow these glow like and leshy out. Does anyone go like ahead or anything, or do you just walk with them outside of the cave?
I'll go out ahead a little bit so that I can tell Lonan and Percy that we've got some lovely plant people following us to collect some moonlight in their moonlight jars.
Yeah.
It's going to be
just
quite a
wanna-
show.
I
Right.
just want to let you know that teleport doesn't only go forwards; it also goes backwards.
Mm.
Can it teleport in time?
That's what I was about to
No.
ask.
Well, I mean,
Just
Does it
goes-
go side to side?
I would
could.
imagine that
It
you
could.
teleport forward in time.
But it really only goes side,
Can you shift to alternate dimensions?
not side to side, just side.
What does that mean?
Goes that way
To the left
or that way.
or to the right? So you can teleport
But,
left or right.
I can go left or right.
It's like a
It's
crab
not
walk.
left.
Bounce to the left and slide to the right?
No, I can't quite do
Oh.
that.
What about crisscross?
Can you put your
I can't.
hands on your hip?
Absolutely not.
turn
You
it all
cut
about?
cut it out right there. No crisscross.
Oh shit, Kozel bits.
It is Kozel. He's being frisky and very annoying right now,
Oh shit.
but he's too cute.
What
so
I
love
do?
him. But all right, so you guys run up ahead a little bit.
It's a very
inform
long
Lonan
dance.
that there are several glowing lichen leshy following you.
Slide to the
And
left.
Just as he's
Rest
finished
a day.
saying that, you see
Slide
all of
to the
these
right.
glowing lichen and
Rest
the
a
rest of
day.
your party emerge from the tunnel. They spill out. And
So why are they collecting moonlight?
That's what they do on their pilgrimage.
Oh,
Because it's
very nice.
fun.
The moon lotus. Their mother or something or other.
So I've had time to think while
the
sitting
moon
here.
lotus.
I have an idea.
She
But
needs
we'll get to that.
moonlight to sustain herself, but she has grown too large to leave the cave on her own.
I'd be really curious to see this moon lotus.
As you say that too, they say it's a beautiful sight to behold. She's much deeper into the mines.
Is that also where you are storing your explosives?
Yes, and other things we have collected over the years.
Oh.
Neat.
So might
Are
we
there-
get the chance to see her when we go to get said explosives?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Explosives. And by explosive, I assume you mean everything.
Possibly.
All right. What's
With
next?
that, they begin walking out of the cave.
I'll step
They're
out of
kinda
the
like
cave
in
too,
a
just to make sure
single
they're not
file.
assailed.
Yeah.
As you step out, Jake, it's kind of dark, but your eyes adjust very quickly. You've been in this very dark cave the whole time, and the moonlight is brightening things up much more than just the glowing lichen was. You kind of look around. You don't really see anything at first, but then you do see that there is a East Lot guy who's got a bottle in his hand. He's kind of stumbling around. He's got his arm up against one of the side walls, looking away from the cave, but he is definitely out and seems to be in the middle of trying to hold his stomach.
For fun.
Yeah.
His fun's
For
over
fun.
for the night.
Oh boy.
What?
So happy I'm holding my tummy.
My favorite thing is holding my guts
Look at
in.
me for face.
I can do shit, I can do blood, I can do anything but vomit.
Fair enough.
My favorite thing is keeping my kidneys inside me.
My guess
Are you
is
sure
this
about
poor
that,
chap's
Dan?
not going to.
I mean, for now.
My guess is this guy's not in any position to really do anything. So I'll go talk to the drunk guy and I'll, be like, hey, you gotta check this out. This is great. And I'll, point to the ceremony that's about to take place.
All right. You go out to him. He seems a little bit startled. He's like, oh, you're one of the weird guys. You're not one of the blighties.
Nah.
Was great. Oh, What?
These guys, watch these guys. These guys are awesome.
And he turns around and he sees all these glowing lichen people holding their jars of these like crystals. And as soon as the moonlight hits them, they start to glow, not like super brightly, but they definitely seem to be absorbing and reacting to the moonlight here. And each of the glowing lichen people kind of hold it up and make sure it's getting as much of this moonlight as it can. And these lot guys are just kind of squinting at them. He looks down at his bottle. What have I been drinking?
Only the best stuff.
You see these weird bush people, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Poppers.
You're welcome, chat.
I would very much like to see a Cardi.
He's not around me. He is where Ashley is.
That checks out. That's, I believe, where all my cats are right now.
Where Ashley is?
Jamie, in this
Okay.
case.
I was gonna say
Jamie is Dan's Ashley.
That's fair.
The
What's all that
wife.
little,
Exactly.
what's all that white glass stuff that they're holding?
That's magic moon jars.
Moonshine?
Science.
I want some of that.
I bet
Yeah,
you
me
do.
too, but
He starts kind of stumbling towards them.
oh no. If you go near them, they could drop the jars and they would break.
Well, I want one.
We'll get
Oh
one.
my
No
God.
problem. No problem.
He
Wait a
drops his beer bottle and it shatters on the ground. He's like, oops.
Beer on the ground.
That is
Party
all
foul.
No.
He starts stumbling towards them more.
Eh.
Gotta
He's got his
stab him.
hands kind of up. He's stumbling. a
Gotta
little
stab
bit.
him.
Well, yeah,
Stab
I'm
him.
gonna put him in a sleeper hold. Try and knock him out.
Jake, roll a melee, and this is not if you successfully restrain them. This is if you are successfully clean after this interaction.
Oh, jeez.
I was just gonna kill him, so
2
There you go.
successes.
You're able to grab him. He's restrained quite easily. You bonk him. He is out without vomiting all over you.
Hooray.
I was gonna give him the highest penalty for party foul, so
Mhm.
you saved him.
Now this Eastlock man has collapsed at your feet, and the rest of the Lycan people are still collecting their moonlight. They're kind of slowly spinning the jars and orienting them in each way, trying to get every single stone and every crystal illuminated.
Does this guy have any like keys or weapons or anything that could be just stolen?
He does have a pistol on his hip.
Oh, I'm taking that.
All right. Yep. Is a D6
D6.
pistol. Okay.
Huzzah.
With that, you do see this ceremony seems to take a little bit, but after a while, probably about 2 minutes go by. You see that there is
April.
one of the blighted villagers. They're kind of slinking around. They seem to be looking out to see if anyone's noticing them. As they round the corner, they see the Eastlock initiative person passed out at your feet, Jake, and they look at you and they seem confused. And they look at all the glowing Lycan people. And they look back at you, Jake. They're just kind of frozen there. They look back and forth.
I'll give them a thumbs up.
And they run off.
Well, okay.
Cool.
After a little bit, all of the Lycan people seem to lower their jars. They bow their head at you once again, Jake, saying, appreciate it for not escalating the situation.
I just wanted to make sure he didn't go running off to try and get some friends to interrupt the whole shebang. So,
well, should you venture deeper into the mountains, you won't be able to miss the moon, Lotus.
okay, excellent. That'll help.
And they all turn and start walking back into the tunnel. Each of them holding their little glass jars. It's much brighter as they're going in. It's this glowing white light that's following them as they go in. And
Hey guys,
slowly
check out what
goes
I
down.
got, and I'll twirl my new pistol around. This is great.
Is the safety
That's
on?
very cool.
Probably not.
You might want to hide that while in town, though, since
Ah.
that is probably a standard issued sidearm.
Looks very similar to the rifles that you guys picked up.
This guy clearly had a holster, yes?
Yeah. You did.
I'll take the holster and let's put that underneath my lamellar leather armor.
He was using it as his belt.
Yes.
Just pull his pants down too while you're at it.
You know what? Yeah. I'll do that.
He's collapsed.
Yeah.
I'll pee on him so that he thinks he peed on himself.
Just roll him over, grab a daisy, and just stick it in his
Who
ass.
pissed my pants?
Who put this pee in my pants?
This will be the only time somebody can actually use that excuse.
Yep. It's not mine. I swear.
I swear, someone else peed my pants.
It's not dark enough.
Oh no,
Oh no.
God.
that's an escalation.
That's awfully clear for somebody who's been drinking all night.
Oh no.
No way.
Good jig us up.
I feel called out.
All right. As Jake is retrieving his holster,
Yeah.
what's everyone else doing? See the lichen people going back into the.
If I
You're out here.
understand the plan correctly, we're now going to follow them back to get their explosives
You good? Yeah.
and to look at their moon lady.
I feel like things are going unusually well right now.
That's because we've been quiet and haven't tried to do anything.
Yes, I mean, you might be right. Like, we haven't actually ruined anything yet.
We haven't been made to make any dice rolls for the most part, so.
I haven't rolled any dice tonight, and it might be for the best.
I rolled one test.
Well,
Just saying.
I took some
You haven't tried
fortune
anything
damage.
that needs a dice roll, so that's
Yeah.
good.
It's probably for the greater good, considering how our last game went.
Mhm.
Where I couldn't roll
Yeah, if you
myself
guys
out of a
wanted
paper
to-
bag.
To follow these
Yeah.
lichen people, the Leshy, they will bring you straight to the Moon Lotus, their mother.
Neat.
I'm sure that's going to be just fine.
I'll stay behind with Percy again just to make sure that the two people who went running off don't come running back with a whole bunch of people
Okay.
and possibly start wrecking stuff.
You see, as they like go into the room that Percy's in, they have like a wide ring around him. They kind of like keep as much distance from him as possible. Not really acknowledging him, but they definitely seem aware of and unhappy with him as they
Fair enough.
So
go deeper.
I'll just put it out here. Percy's existed fine here for a long time without any harassment.
Honestly, I could see Percy being friends of the blighted people because they're of the same.
Yeah, but the blighted people don't like Percy. They're the ones that chained him up here.
Well,
Yeah.
I think part of it is and I was just thinking about this, is like Percy is much the same as the Bladed folks. He didn't ask to be made
Yeah, which
or
is
to be,
yeah.
I'm
right there with you.
like-
I think that's what I think is the most kind of like disappointing thing about this is they're all in the same boat, but they don't like Percy.
But they may not understand that or realize it.
That could be.
Oh, we can help them to realize that when
We
we
could.
With
kill the
violence.
You haven't
Eastlock.
talked to them, so you don't know exactly why. But you imagine Percy's not great at introductions because he was
What?
I
but
would have
everyone
never
else
guessed
that
Can I sing
Uh,
music?
No. Show
And
me your
Percy mentioned
music
something
maker.
about the reason why he came here is he was chasing some birds.
Yeah. That makes sense. That tracks.
It does.
But if they could ally,
I just want to say right now that that's not our fault.
but he could be a valuable defender if we can get them to kind of get along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We may or may not have told us some things, but it's not our fault.
I mean, yeah, we just
Mhm.
convince him
We-
that the Eastlock people all have
did-
music boxes in them.
Much like any parent, we did the best we could with what we knew at the time.
That's right.
It's not our fault.
Yes.
Our child in the box turned out to be a serial killer.
We're going to
Yeah,
say
Percy
the
doesn't seem
same
to know
thing
much
in about
box
5
and
years.
prop.
People.
I guess that really does raise up the nature versus nurture thing.
It's both.
Is it?
I take credit for neither.
You know what?
Not my kid.
That's fair. We were absentee parents most of the time, so
we
this
really
is-
were. Like, it
so
took
we,
us way
we can
too
blame
long
this
to get
entirely
some
on nurture.
You told him to go play outside forever.
It wasn't even us.
Go get me some milk and don't come back home.
It's sort of.
Go get me
It
some
was only
music.
sort of us. But not from the birds.
Go
Inside.
find a mechanical music box and an organic creature, and don't come back till you do.
Man, we didn't tell him that. Exactly.
We didn't not tell him that.
It seems to
His
be what he's
understanding was a
looking for.
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It's not entirely our fault.
Only partly.
Mhm.
Anyway, what I was getting at is I think we should all go and just have Percy pretend to be chained up again.
All right.
You should see in this moon lotus.
Yeah, one,
Or
I think we should all
once.
see it. Two, I think
Actually,
it would all help if we carried it back. Yeah.
I have an idea for
Okay.
that. So I've been thinking about it. We have no way to, we don't always know what's going on, and sometimes we kind of split apart from each other, but in many ways we're I guess, I don't know, a bit like a little family here, and there's threads that interconnect us. So I'd like to use my arachnomancy to kind of build like a empathic bond amongst all of us. I could maybe tie Percy into that too, and we could sense like something landing in a web. We can sense like location, distance, maybe even a bit of what's going on with you emotionally.
Just like the
Does
first...
it all start with Puffin Daddy?
Maybe. I was just thinking it's like the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
I figured Puffin Daddy's probably the source of our empathic bond.
Could be.
It's got to be the center of it.
Yeah, sure.
He's the one that brought us together.
Yes.
Do that. Roll it, and depending on how well you roll, I'll say how much information you're able to get out of it.
Sure. Context would be occult.
Yep.
19.
2 successes.
Dang. I'll push it just in case I can get a little bit more, a little stronger. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. 2 successes. I'm going to say it lasts for a day.
Okay.
And you are able to get the general feeling of each person. Like, it's not a constant ping, but you're able to like ping your feeling to someone else or check what someone else's general kind of mood feeling is.
The car is hungry.
And during that ping, you get a general sense of how far away they are. And kind of like the strength and the distortion of the signal.
Yeah.
Say that lasts for a day. Everyone's able to do that, including Percy.
Nice.
Okay.
Percy is extremely restless, and he's constantly pinging that.
I can only imagine.
He's hungry?
He's not hungry.
He wants to leave.
I got more peanuts if he wants.
Restless and hungry are not the same thing.
As you guys have been outside of the cave too, you have heard a little bit of scraping in the halls. But as you started walking back in, you heard it again. Looks like Percy like tried to inch his way towards the mouth of the cave, but then when he saw you were coming back in, he went like back to where he was.
Oh, that guy.
As you guys are back in here talking about it. Do I get to leave yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. We know you're eager. Do you feel us?
Yeah, what is that?
That's some of my magic. You can kind of sense where we're at and get an idea of what we're feeling. And we can get an idea of where you're at and what you're feeling. And I can tell you're feeling pretty restless, buddy. And, I get that.
I don't like this cave.
I know. We're trying to find a way to get you out of here safely. Okay?
Maybe we need to get him a Rubik's Cube.
Perhaps we could put him on the traveling petting zoo cart while there's not Eastlock people hanging around.
Pretty big.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we
but
also don't want him to kill all the animals. Hold on. I just thought about that.
I have a terrible idea that we could do to him later. If it would work. I don't know if it would.
I mean, when you put it that way.
I really do.
we've got these extra mine carts that have wheels. What if we modified Percy to have wheels? And he could just
So he
push.
goes fast.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Does he also eat chili dogs?
I hope
I
so.
mean,
go
even if we just built a cart that we could like, he could
That's what
lift
I
himself
was
up
thinking.
onto.
Like, yeah, just a
Yeah.
couple carts and you cut so he can just kind of
Mm-hmm.
and set in it.
Yep.
I was thinking that he's gonna go so fast that when he stops, like rings come pouring out of him.
That's only if something hits him.
Yeah, if he like
Right.
drives into spikes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But also he has a desperate hunger for chili dogs.
It's
chili dog time.
unnatural.
I think that solves
While
all
you're
of our
talking,
problems.
Percy
Yeah.
is still painting Restless. Wants to leave.
Will Percy fit down this hallway we're going down? I know we asked you
Yes,
last time.
just barely.
Come on, Percy. We're going on a trip down this tunnel.
We're getting to also see how he feels about chili dogs, because this could be important.
Probably never had one.
Probably
going
not. I
deeper?
don't think he eats. Yeah, we're going deeper. There's people down
No,
there.
he probably doesn't. Yeah.
Man, that'd be an interesting game for this group to play.
Hmm.
We need to go deeper.
What's down there?
Oh no.
A moon lotus.
That's no moon.
Oh,
I liked all those glowing lights they were holding.
and more
Those
of
are cool
those.
looking.
We're gonna hopefully get to see more of those.
And hopefully see something bigger eat it.
But you gotta be quiet and respectful. All right. Well, but we'll be
Okay.
right there with you.
I can be very quiet. And as he says this, he rolls his box onto the the rails. And as he starts pulling himself on his metal box down the metal rails.
Ugh. Ugh.
Looking
In a
around
very
there,
natural, horrifying way.
I'm gonna look around real quick for like a flat like board of wood or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to just kind of like
Yeah, you can definitely find one.
yeah, I just want to kind of use that chain to kind of like rig something up. That way, as he's dragging himself down the rails, it's rails, this bit of wood, him. That way
Okay.
it's probably still going to squeak very loudly, but it won't screech.
Yeah, I'll say you're able to find some debris and tell him to use that instead.
Sure.
Okay. He does that. And he's like, oh, that feels better.
I bet.
Wait a minute.
Now you just feel like creaking of wood.
Are there any like minecart wheels? Or just mine
Yeah, there
carts?
are.
Okay.
There's lots of discarded mine carts in various conditions.
Okay. Well, I'll try to find one that's got like a, I don't know, sort of a busted up cart part of the cart.
Mhm.
And then I'll just I'll cast craft on it to try to turn it into what is
Okay.
essentially a square skateboard.
Sure. Yeah. Roll it.
Alrighty. I have technology, don't I? No, I don't. Okay, never mind.
You're doing this as a cast, right?
That's right.
Okay.
There we go. One success.
Cool. All right. That's all you need to. That's a good idea. So yeah, you're able to find one of the carts, and most of the actual like bucket part of the cart has been kind of rusted away, but it looks like the wheels are in pretty good condition. So you're able to use this craft to kind of like detach that from it cleanly, and you have this smooth surface that Percy's able to rest his box on, and now he's on wheels that'll slide down.
Now he can move around more quickly, which is not going to bite us in the ass in any possible way.
As soon as he's on, he's like, wow. And then his arm springs out very far, and he's just he's able to move very quickly on this minecart as he's grabbing onto various beams with his arms and just springing himself down them. He springs his way back up to you.
Looking good, Percy. Oh yeah.
But don't go too far. We don't want to spook our new friends.
You want to ride in here with me? And he kind of adjusts the inside of his body in the box over so that there's like a bit of a space that you could like crouch in inside.
You're not gonna
box.
mangle me when I get in there, are you?
No.
Okay. I would appreciate it if you don't. But
You guys
at this point, Percy would know that I am about to shit my pants from fear. And
we all know that.
And I will climb into the box with Percy.
All right. There's room for everyone to do that. Percy's a large box, so he's much bigger than these mining carts.
I'll hop on.
There's a song about that, isn't there?
Sure.
I'm just a jack in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys all climb in Percy's box alongside of him. There's a lot of dry gore in here. Lots of mechanical parts that have kind of been ripped apart, but you're all able to find like places that you're able to sit without kind of getting ground up or anything pinched as he's moving. You hear a lot more like mechanical sounds like inside of his central kind of column of his body. And definitely inside of his head. You hear like
Alice in Chains, Man in the Box.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had to double check myself. I was like, am I being crazy?
That's a good one.
Everybody else seems confused.
With that, Percy's like, all right, are we going?
Just after the lovely plant people.
Okay. And he just starts grabbing the top of the ceiling of this. You guys fly down and catch up with them pretty quickly. All of the plant people are walking much slower, or not super slowly, but they're just kind of doing like a normal walking pace. So Percy's able to quickly catch up to them. And you get that restless ping again. I want to see this weird moon thing you guys are talking about.
Me too.
You think they can see?
Maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, it's a plant. Plants don't really sing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You guys follow along. A few more minutes go by. See the bright white light of this. And now you're starting to see like other turn-offs of these tunnels. People dug in a little bit. You see the tracks kind of go off, but these Viking people are just going straight along this main path. And none of the rails divert here. You see ways to divert them like mechanically, but they're all going straight along. You do eventually find like one intersection where the rails are turning off to the left, but the Viking people are walking. You have to find the mechanism to slide it back. Keep Percy along the way. After about an hour, it starts to open up more and more. And this cart ends. One of those kind of barricades with the things on it, the stoppers to catch the cart. You find yourselves inside of a large cave. And it's a little bit brighter in here. You didn't notice it at first as you were approaching it because of the bright white light from these little glass moonlight things that they were holding. But as you come into this cave, you see there are lots of these glowing lichen and other various like bright plants, all sorts of blues and purples and yellows. You're just in this large circular cave. You see several other places and outlets. There's a small pool of water off to the left. And you see in the center of this cave is a massive white and red flower. You see several, maybe it looks like just a bunch of random plants kind of at first, but it looks almost like a village made out of biological like plants and things and moss. You see lots of these lichen people and leshies of all sorts of kind, mushroom leshies, lichen leshies, vine leaf, all sorts of ones like that. And this large moon lotus in the center. You see a line of these lichen moving down, weaving their way through this little settlement, approaching the center moon lotus.
At that point, I suppose I'll hop out of Percy and just walk around.
Yeah. You take it all in. See, there's several other ways. You see, there's one end of this like tunnel that you went through seems to line up almost perfectly on the other side. In here too, you see remnants of previous mining operations. You see there are some places that there were structures and things kind of bent out. You do see there are some tools and things that are discarded here and there. As you're looking around, you see a large, kind of towards the right in this room, the opposite side of where this pool of water is. See this large cache of just random crates, boxes, some things that look like they might be the explosives that they took that they mentioned. You see just all sorts of this stuff that seems very out of place in this very kind of natural looking room. That seems to be kind of where they're collecting and gathering and tossing all of the things that they strip away from the town and the mines.
Right. I'll start going through some of these boxes to see if any of them do in fact contain explosives, and if they do, I'll mark them.
You're very easily able to find which boxes do, and you find some have been kind of like deteriorated with time a bit. They look like they've either gotten wet or something like that. Some of the boxes are probably no good, but you do find a good few crates that still have their lid on, and others that have been opened and are partially full of explosives. But you do see probably about a crate and a half worth of good explosives.
All right, excellent.
That's a lot of boom.
It's enough to blow up
Gonna
a
need-
saloon.
That's
Absolutely.
more than enough to blow up a saloon.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know anything about that though.
No. Because we don't actually know anything about dynamite. So yeah, we leave like the whole crate.
Or
Oh, we leveled the
saloons,
town.
or blowing them up, because we've never done that in a campaign before.
Yeah.
Not
Oh, yeah.
once.
We don't do that. Why would we ever?
All right, now that Chuck's back from peeing his pants, I'm gonna go pee mine.
Okay, have fun. No, Liam fell asleep in his chair, so I had to go carry him to bed before he fell out.
Oh, that checks out.
Oh snap! Did the
But
lollygaggers
I'm gonna
swing
go
by?
pee my pants.
They did.
It did.
Oh shit!
did.
Oh,
I
was wondering what happened to
lollygaggers.
you.
Yeah, no, Ashley came
Hello.
and she was like, "Yeah, Liam's asleep in his goddamn computer chair and he's about to fall out." So I had to go carry him to bed.
Be back.
So what's going on? Is it my turn?
You guys followed the lichen people back to their. It's like a big cave full of all of these bioluminescent plants. Lots of blues and yellows and purples.
Yeah.
And in the center, there's this massive moon lily, which is like a giant, or moon lotus, which is a giant white and
It's an
red
actual plant.
lotus. Yeah.
Damn. I thought it was like some kind of like euphemism or something. Like it's actually like their moon, like priestess goddess person. And I
It
was
used to be
gonna.
just a massive plant.
That's too bad. I was gonna Sedulce them, and I have no intention to Sedulce a plant.
Jake was just inspecting the. He found like the cache of where they've been collecting all of the random mining
nice.
equipment and stuff. It's all kind of stored over on one corner of this. I say corner, but it's like a massive circular opening room. They gave Percy the bottom wheels of a cart, and he pulled himself pretty quickly through on the rails.
Okay. I heard Al mention that as I was getting up.
Yeah, so he was able to do that.
Cool.
But yeah, you guys find yourself. You have just come into the cave. Jake, after he looks through these crates, he says to the rest of you, like, "Oh, yep, you've got explosives, crate and a half worth.
Very
do y'all do?
nice. Um,
I'll put them into a mine cart and, well, first I'll set a mine cart onto the tracks and then drag some explosives back to the mine cart to put them in the mine cart.
So we already saw them give the jars and everything to the moonflower, right?
They're currently in the process of bringing those jars to you. You haven't seen them like actually give them to this moon lotus yet.
In this room where the explosives is there anything else?
You see, there's kind of like what looks to be a leshy settlement of several other lichen and mushroom and other like underground type plants. They're all mulling about. There's a pool of water that seems to be like part of a lake or something, but seems to extend into like.
Let me rephrase that, Joe. I like stealing.
Okay. Everything that is not plants is kind of over where Jake's at, which is
yes,
where all the crates and like the mining equipment and stuff has been collected.
I will go over by where Jake is at and look at what other things we can take.
Sure. I'll say if you're looking for anything that's not the explosive specifically, give me a find test.
Yeah.
So like loop through stuff, see if there's anything of particular value.
Sure. Still Warren?
Yeah, Warren or technology.
Okay. I don't have either of those. So, you know what? I'll pull a success. I'll take it.
Roll
Nice.
1d6.
I can do that.
How about, since we're close to the end of the session, I make it a 4?
Much appreciated.
Same result. But
Oh.
You find a D4 worth of just kind of miscellaneous metals and bits and scraps that would be tradable.
Okay. Yeah. I'll throw those in the cart as well. We'll pawn them off.
Thought maybe a 1 would be bad in this case.
No, it's there's like a loot table based on how high you roll. But the cutoff for it's 1 through 5 is D4 and 6 through 10 I think is a D6.
Okay. So it's just a D4 scrap.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. As you're kind of looting through all this stuff, see one of the glowing plants above you kind of descends. Seems to be curious about what you're doing. There's this like large vine leshy that's attached to the ceiling, kind of moves itself through. Seems to be focusing on you guys. It doesn't really have like a face. It's not built in like a humanoid shape like some of the other leshies were that you were talking to earlier, but it does seem to be like sentient like one.
Yeah.
Reacting to your moving.
Okay.
So as you're like kind of rummaging through this stuff, it seems very curious about that and moves its way over to you, Chuck.
Hello.
There's you.
It's like, is it trying to shake my hand? I'll shake its hand. Or a leaf, or
Shake it. Kind of wraps its vine around your hand a little bit, tugs on your hand, and then unwraps.
Greetings. My name is Rudigar.
It rustles. You hear leaves kind of like wind going through them. Kind of similar to when the Leshy were talking to each other.
Yeah. I'm going to try and replicate that sound.
Okay. You have do you have nature?
No. Why would I have nature? I have.
You would actually, because you have nature as one of your contexts, you would actually know that they are speaking like a druidic.
I don't have nature.
Like language.
Oh, I do have nature. Cool.
You do.
They're speaking plant talk.
Yeah.
Russell.
It is rustling at you. The way it's communicating, very, very basic information. It's not really good with sophisticated speech.
Oh, I just presumed
Oh.
since I'm not a plant, it was talking dumb to me, like, you know. You see,
Do the equivalent of shouting at you.
it's
Yeah.
talking very
basic terms.
slow and very loud at me.
No, it's basically like you not being a plant, you can do like almost the equivalent of like sign language to it with various random sounds and things.
Okay.
So you're able to communicate back to it.
Nice.
But it seems to only understand extremely basic. Like
Okay.
the sound that it gave to you was curiosity. Like it does not know what you're doing.
I will try and in very basic terms help with moonlight.
It, in basic terms, seems happy with this. And then it directs your attention towards the center.
Who am I to disagree? I'll head towards the center then.
And it kind of raises itself back up towards the ceiling.
Okay.
Donde está biblioteca?
There does not seem to be a library anywhere in here.
What? Outrage.
Lonan is gonna hop off of Percy and shape change into a spider again, and just do a bow, like a spidery bow, since he serves something related to, but we don't necessarily cross paths. Yeah, just respect kind of thing.
I would imagine that leshies really like spiders. Because, like, spider bites aren't going to do anything to a leshy, but spiders would keep,
spiders.
Like, aphids and
Get
shit.
pests away.
Yeah. We're on good terms.
Yeah. Best.
Butterflies,
cool.
ladybugs.
Besties.
Spiders take care of those.
Yep.
Are you approaching this like moon lotus in the center as you're doing that, John?
Yeah.
To bow? Okay. Who all is following John to the center?
I will now. Now that I've been directed there, I will.
Okay. You guys all approach. As you do, you see the glowing lichen leshy are starting to kind of spread out. And there seems to be kind of like this bed of different rocks and stones around the base of this moon lotus. And they're just kind of dumping these stones into it. As they do, there's kind of this beam of light around it. You see the plant seems to kind of light up. It gets more color in its leaves. It reacts and unfurls more. You see these giant glowing white petals in the center of it. Looks a lot like just like a lotus flower, but not like this weird seed pod ones, but like the very like circular flower kinds.
Okay.
As it uncurls, it angles down towards you, and you see that there is somewhat of a, not really humanoid, but you can see there's like a bit of a face in the center of this lotus flower. As it bends down, it stares at you. It says, "Oh, visitors. Hello, friends. Are you here to make an
back on the
offering?"
table. Lonan, you were up first here. I'm not going to...
So it's like unfurling.
And there's a face in the center of it. And that face is talking at us.
Oh, well, I will listen.
Yes. Like,
what's it saying?
It says hi.
Large, massive, like leshy.
Oh, I guess let me rephrase that. It said, "Hi, what the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah, it introduced itself and said, "Are you here to make a offering?"
I don't know what a proper offering would be. I know that your people collected some moonlight for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am no longer able to leave. I've grown my roots too deep and my leaves too large. I used to
fair.
make the pilgrimage on my own to bask in the moonlight, but I cannot.
We did help them get that moonlight.
Yeah. We did.
As you say that, they turn their head down towards the lichen, and you hear the whistling of their like druidic conversation. The lichen seem to respond and say yes. She's, oh, it appears you were. I had trouble this past several times. They've attempted to collect. Townspeople seem to be increasingly upset with us and our existence here.
Can you give us details about which of the townspeople are upset with you?
All of the blighted ones.
But not the people in like armor and stuff.
We're not familiar with those.
They'd be the recent arrivals.
And when you explain like the East Block people to them, like you're not
I
familiar
don't think
with
they even
these.
know that they're here.
We keep running across this theme that it's the blighted people.
What turned them? Or are they just angry that they're blighted
Yeah, I
and
don't
forced
know.
to live outside? Yeah.
We really probably need to talk to them because, like,
It's just all the lead in their diet, obviously.
yeah, like
They
we've
just
been.
stop eating the lead
people-
paint.
But
They
it's the
reaped a curse
tastiest
that
kind.
ruined our
It
lands
is.
to the east.
It's those paint chips. They're hard to turn down.
You said they ruined your
presence.
land.
Their presence poisons the soil and the water. Makes it hard for our people to thrive. We're deep enough into the mines that we are not often interfered, but whenever they enter, they bring sickness with them.
And it's just them coming through that brings sickness. They're not like actively doing something to bring sickness.
They actively walk here.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Their
yeah.
decision to enter,
Okay. So
and that brings sickness.
That's fair. That answers my question though, so that's good.
They choose to enter, and this decision hurts us.
Yeah.
So again, what I'm hearing is, so long as we keep these two groups apart, everything should work well.
Yeah.
There's no way that can go wrong.
I mean, it's going to depend on how the blighted people handle that. Because, like, I certainly don't fault them for being blighted. It's not like they asked for that shit.
Right. And they're just trying to live, but they're just as much vulnerable to blighted creatures attacking them as anyone else. I mean, maybe avoided less, but still.
Yeah. Well, and then
they're
also,
here.
if the blighted people are wandering into other people's homes, you know, they do have a level of responsibility to not make other people sick.
Right.
Social distancing is
Yeah.
what's required here.
Yeah.
60.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I think we could manage something diplomatically.
I think so. It's really going to depend because the blighted people we have not talked to at all.
Yeah.
If
I
they
do
turn
kind
out
of
to be
wonder.
buttholes, then the diplomacy's off the table.
I think maybe get a little bit of info from them, but then let's go free Quinlan.
Yeah. I mean,
and she can talk to her people kind of thing, because these are basically her people.
yeah. We probably should have already been doing that, but
We found out where she
She
is. We'll
seems
get to
to
it.
have been taken, like, to the trench. Was the
I'm
impression that you got.
I'm not too worried about them locking her up, because yeah, she'd been around just a wee bit.
okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, so what's our goal when we get back? Is it straight to Quinlan or talk to the blighted people?
We'll get some rest and talk to the blighted people.
Yeah.
They're on the way out.
Okay. I mean, I suppose that's true. If they end up being complete dicks, we don't want Quinlan standing in our way if we have to do something.
Yeah. Just remember, we have to be quiet about it, since we're supposed to be here taking care of Percy.
Yeah.
So if they actually see us come out of the cave,
There's a lot of room for air.
Yeah.
Yep. Eastlock is okay with you being here, not talking to people because you were dealing with Percy. They didn't want to deal with this weird box thing.
We're solving a problem for them.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe we
on
could
the
convince
down low.
Percy to play on the rail lines. Maybe he'd like that.
Go up and down the rail lines.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what? I'm okay with that. He would probably have a blast.
absolutely. I'm half
Teach him
tempted
how
to
the
just
switches work.
ride him
You'd
back up
seem
and
to
down this thing.
enjoy flying up and down the rails from your spell.
You know, if we taught him how the switches work, he could have so much fun for days getting lost in the mines.
Eventually, he's going
We
to hit
might
a dead.
never see him again.
Yes.
Why?
Again, not necessarily.
You say that like it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know where he is for at least a day.
Send him into the mines of Moria. It'll be fine.
They said.
This box that travels with you, the Moon Lotus says, reeks of the blight, but they do not spread it.
Yeah.
But their presence is unpleasant.
Understandable.
And it's not our intention. We're trying to help them because they are very innocent.
Yeah. They didn't ask to be made from the blight.
Yeah, and they very childlike in their mind. So we're trying to help them. But yes, they are
I didn't ask for this.
made of blight.
We did not ask to be killed by blight when it is around us.
Yeah,
But
Very true.
That
We're
is the
taking
way of the
him.
world.
Yeah, we'll try to make things better for you.
that would be appreciated.
Give us some time.
Yeah.
Try being the operative word.
The great news is you're leshies. You have a long lifespan. So what will be a length of time for us would probably be a much shorter comparative time for you.
No big deal.
Yeah.
That is a way of looking at it.
All right. Well, I ain't got shit else I want to do. So why don't we head back to town?
Yeah.
Catch some Z's.
Should we warn them that we might let Percy run the rails?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think so.
It's gonna
Just
keep
let
him out
it.
of trouble.
Just let it happen.
We should let him know. Just in
Yeah.
case there's tensions. Like, hey, he's going to be
Mhm.
on the rails for a bit.
Gonna
He's
be
just
minecart
playing.
bandits from Donkey Kong.
Exactly.
As
I
long
just
as he
imagine
does
like
not-
all of a sudden it's a wailing cave because you just hear "Whoop,"
Yeah,
coming out
that's
of the
exactly
cave.
it.
He'll fly off the rails
Yeah.
and jump into a barrel, fly through the air.
Yep.
No, totally normal. Just like in
Because
real life.
We would just prefer that he does not spend his time in the great chambers.
We'll let him know.
Tunnels are okay.
Yeah, we'll let him know. Tunnels only.
Again, his presence is not poisonous, but very unpleasant.
Sure. I understand that.
Yeah.
We should probably skedaddle then.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like if you don't look at him, it's like he's not even there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we make like a tree and get the fuck out of here. And then let Percy have fun with the rails, but advise him to stay away from the big chambers.
Also, as you're talking to her, she seems to fixate on you for a little bit, Chuck.
What did I do?
Why do you reek of blight?
Oh, my leg got injured. And I'll show her.
He looks at it. How did this happen to you?
A crab creature promised to fix me, and this is what it called fixing. It was a blighted
Just
crab
saying,
creature.
we all want to eat it, but he still needs a leg.
Yeah.
Chuck, you notice that the seam of like where the shrimp started and your leg started
Yeah.
is like moving up your leg a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'll straight up ask her, like, can you help me with this?
He looks it over. Just come closer.
I will obey.
And then she just thorn whips him to death.
Ah.
Right to the heart.
Dang it.
Ah, and then eats it,
Yeah.
probably. With some butter.
Not a bad plan.
I can aid you, but you will be similar to your friend here. She points at Jake, who is also getting plant-like features after he ate that berry
Oh, that's right.
last session.
Sure.
So you're shrimp legged or plant legged?
I would rather have a plant leg than a shrimp leg.
You
He
can put your foot in the
really
ground and
he
eat.
really said he was just going to fix my injury, not replace my leg.
I could have just given you spider legs.
That would have been a better option.
They are considerably less desirable to eat.
Yeah.
You would have
They
had to
are.
roll a lot higher for it to be permanent.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll take her up. Like, sure, I'll take the help if it gets rid of this.
He says, I will consider this a payment of goodwill, assuming that you are helping in our blight.
Absolutely.
And she kind of moves to the side a little bit, or like the way that her leaves and body is moves to the side. And you see this path that's kind of opened up that is travels past her towards the water. As if you
Absolutely.
could approach the pool, please.
Yeah. Without hesitation.
I just want to say, the spell better be swiggity shwoody, putting leaves in your booty.
No, it's not my booty. It's just my leg.
Hey, yo.
Where
It's
you
gonna,
like start
it's gonna
at?
attach somewhere.
That's right.
She says,
I'll go.
first,
Do you
the
want me
blight
to?
must be removed. And a vine descends from the ceiling holding an axe.
Needs
Oh,
solid
Lordy.
bracing for attachment.
Oh, fuck.
Leaves in the booty.
me sideways.
Like, you can't get a cybernetic arm without replacing a whole bunch of other things too. Otherwise, it just
Dude.
rips itself off.
Do one of you have a spell that'll help me go to sleep for this?
I have a rusty hammer.
I can make a garrote. Go to sleep real.
You could also make a tourniquet, but let's just ignore the more useful option.
I'll try to cast compel against him and compel him to sleep.
There you go. That worked.
Sure. If
Can
you
I
all-
assist him in this?
Just close your eyes real hard.
Can I assist him with a whack to the back of the head?
Oh no.
Like I said,
you
rusty
can't
hammer.
assist in that way?
We're helpers.
Yeah.
What kind of context would this fall under?
Urban
This
or
would be
common?
either Warren or yours is religion, right? So it'd be Warren
Right.
or religion.
Okay.
I mean, theoretically, I could bite you with a type of magical venom that might help you sleep, so that you don't struggle if I try to eat you. So
I would
Hey,
appreciate you
that's
not eating
Two
me.
successes.
Yeah.
I
That's
still
what
got
you need.
one more 4 I can give somebody.
I'll take that
Chuck,
for.
you hear Jake start to speak, and then you fall unconscious and
Okay.
fall kind of back on these small, like river rocks and things that have kind of been deposited.
Won't
Side.
leave
Maybe-
bruises
maybe-
later.
Maybe somebody else needs that 4.
I'm asleep.
As that
now.
happens, the Moon Lotus turns to all of you and say, well, suppose that will help with his removal, but I cannot heal his leg until the rot is purged from it.
Can we eat it?
I wouldn't recommend.
I would not
like,
recommend
but behind a car, I'm just like,
Okay, all right.
You want me to chop it off? Like, is that?
Well, this plant's already got an axe.
I suppose I'll.
Yeah, one of the vine leshies
Oh.
attached to the ceiling like descended with an axe and dropped.
I
it
can
next
do
to
better
Jeff.
than that.
like a Cirque du Soleil act. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got.
Well,
I
I've got
my
decent brawn and melee, so I suppose I could
I
try
can
to
do
size
it.
him up.
I can
Oh.
do my magical sword. It's like 11
Ah,
All
dice.
right, Dan.
Excellent.
that probably
It's gonna-
cauterizes.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Keep saying that, but I'm waiting for the roll.
Yeah, I gotta remember. It's been a minute since I played this. Melee. Spell. Melee. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Two successes.
Crit success. Yeah.
And I'll get rid of one of my ones with a 4.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know if that helps or not, because
Well, you haven't pushed.
Makes you take 1 less damage.
I did push.
Oh, you did push? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember for when you're looping over.
Mhm.
Is it only a 5 that counts as a success?
5 and 6.
Yes. 5 and 6.
Dang it. Only roll
Yeah.
better.
And if for some
Okay.
reason you have a ridiculous amount of dice and it loops over again, then it's a 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, I don't have that many dice.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like I should, but I don't.
You'll get there.
All right. But yeah, 3 successes. With that, you have your sword blade. What does it look like as you're doing this melee strike on Chuck's shrimp leg?
I mean, just like if I were cutting anybody else's leg off. Just a big old
All right.
sword to just
Do the choppy.
yeah.
You
It's not
perfectly
special.
Cut
I'm
all
trying
of
to
the
cut
shrimp.
above the shrimp.
I'm
Yep.
glad you didn't fail because I could imagine Joe saying you cut too high.
Ooh.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
you don't remove any part of his leg that you don't have to with this. And
Oh, good.
Chuck's
So
leg.
just an inch or two above where it was attached originally.
Yep.
Just a little above the shrimps.
Yeah.
And with that, Chuck, your leg begins to glow.
The severed leg?
Stump.
Oh, the stump. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm unconscious, so I don't
And
see
we'll
any
cut
of
it
this.
there.
Yeah.
Because we're getting at time.
I'm
We'll pick up
Stumpicus.
next time, seeing what happens to Chuck's leg.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sure totally great things.
It will be a literal
Yes.
stump.
That's just going to be it. We're collecting animals and we're collecting legs.
I get what you're doing there, Jake. Literal stump
Yes.
growing a tree.
Indeed.
Oh, I get it.
It's a
Mm,
plant.
Eventually, everyone's going to have some degree of mystical ability, either through amputation or worship. I think that's
Yep.
that's
And I helped to deliver most of it.
You did. Good job.
But all right, yeah. So that's our session here. You guys are ending in this cave next to the Moon Lotus with all of the Leshy peoples. You recovered some explosives to perhaps use on the town,
Mm-hmm.
and save the blighted people's town from the Eastlock people that are in it temporarily.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go great.
things. Yeah, we're great at things.
Yeah.
We'll pick it up there. All right, Chuck, what are we doing? What's on the schedule?
Wednesday, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Night Below. But what I really want to throw out there is I've got a Kickstarter coming out on February 14th, Valentine's Day. It's Teenage Odyssey. You've seen it here on the channel already. If you... Oh, look at that. April already got the link for me. Thanks.
Dang, so fast.
Yeah, if you want to help me feel better about my life choices, go ahead and follow that pre-launch page there. That way you can get notified when the Kickstarter goes live. Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Check it out. It's fun. We've played it here a
Yeah.
few times.
Yeah.
It was good.
Fun.
Science
We may
and
or may not
hamsters.
have made great mistakes
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We make good choices.
all the time.
good choices do not necessarily mean smart choices.
I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
I was hoping nobody would point that out, but
Mm-hmm.
It's the DOK way.
It is.
It is.
Oh yeah. All right. Anyone else got anything?
XP
Not yet.
questions?
Oh yeah, we should do XP questions. The way you get XP. Everyone participated in the session.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got story points. You learned more about the Eastlock a little bit. Learned more about these Leshy people and the Moon Lotus. All that. You learned a little bit about where Quinlan's at and that she got captured. So lots of story elements.
Yeah.
Did anyone fail a roll or take damage from push?
Yes.
Dan did. I did not.
I barely did. My only roll in the entire game, in fact.
Did anyone take any conditions or remove any conditions?
I tried, but I did not.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did anything with conditions this time. Does anyone feel like they did anything special, noteworthy of a experience point?
All I did
Nothing
was
really jumps
lay
out to me?
down to get my leg cut off, so I'm going to say that's a no.
I did not
Yeah.
roll any dice. Which
You
I
did,
feel
though.
is a benefit until the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should be proud of me.
Good job. You
That's
didn't
good.
do it.
You rolled once and succeeded.
Yeah. It's a record.
Yeah. 100% success.
And then we didn't have any downtime. So
Yeah.
everyone should have got 3
I got 2.
or 2. Yeah, 2 or
Yeah.
2. Cool.
Unlike our DCC game on Wednesday, where I couldn't roll for anything.
That's pretty par for the course for our DCC games. You lose a lot of
Yeah.
spells.
Yeah.
Not only do I lose a lot of spells, but I spend a lot of our audience's bits.
That's what they're there for. Audience paid good money for
next
to use
Friday,
those bits.
We're going to be back here to finish Kobold on Friday, playing more Anvea.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see what they do to the town and the people and all that. Sure, it'll go great.
It's going to be great.
Nothing bad ever happens when they get a crate of explosives.
We would never do anything to harm them.
Them is a very loose application.
Right. That's why it was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
People could correctly
watching,
construe
everybody.
that as vague.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
The ways leading into and out of the town, is this place in like a valley or
Yeah, it's like up against a mountain.
Yeah, it's very
okay,
well
so,
hidden, protected.
okay.
Mhm.
Crazy thought.
I like it.
We see a lot. We possible thing. We could try to talk them into sealing off at least part of the ways in, so that people leave them alone.
We could, after we get rid of the one dudes, yeah, we could talk them into blowing up some of those passes. See, okay, in a past campaign, I had something similar where we had to take out some bad guys. So what I did is I blocked all the exits to the tavern they were in, and then lit the building on fire.
Yeah, that's the burning down of a
that.
tavern that I may or may not have been referring to, that we have no experience with whatsoever.
Yeah.
I wasn't there when it happened, so I wouldn't know.
that.
I don't
I'm
remember
pretty sure it
Joe's
happened in
sister
your
crit
basement,
failing
man.
a warning shot.
It happened on the session that I was
Yeah.
absent for because my character wouldn't have let it happen.
I do remember
that's
that. That was,
But I still think it may have happened in my basement.
It did happen in your basement. I remember that.
I was just sick, and I was like, come on over anyways.
I think that's one of the only sessions my sister has ever played with us. And she rolled, I remember it was like a firebolt spell or whatever.
Yeah.
And she
Produce
tried to shoot
flame
a
or
warning
something.
shot to tell him to back off. And she critted and murdered somebody by hitting him
Oh, I
in the head.
remember that. That's fantastic.
This is a real warning. Die!
The warning is his life, not this shot.
You'll get
like it.
worse if you do anything.
I had a
Yeah.
friend accidentally kill the hostage while somebody was like had the hostage up and was like, I will kill them, and tried to snipe the hostage taker, and instead crit failed and killed the hostage, which destroyed all of the notes because they were a key NPC to what the game master had written, and he just tore out a chunk of like a stack of pages out of his notebook.
See, that's the problem. You should never have anything that's key that you're putting in front of the party.
It was his first time running, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Learning experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of funny, though. I can just
it was
imagine. I mean, we did that to Chuck how many sessions in a row?
That's why I stopped prepping. I'm like, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Things are going to go wilder than I could ever imagine.
Was that our DCC game?
It was.
We fucking soft rebooted that campaign so many times because you all just did wild ass shit.
I only half participated in going to the future.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
My left half.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, close us out so we can get out of here, Joe.
Oh my.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back in 1 week, and then also before that, doing other stuff. But this game will be back in 1 week, and come check it out. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.